It's a real pleasure to present such an interesting destination, which is perfect for families and couples. So, AluLa is a place of rich natural, human, and cultural heritage dating back to 200,000 years. And here one can experience about 7,000 years of human civilization. AluLa is a living, breathing, open air museum. It's full of inspiring heritage sites and natural wonders. And over thousands of years, travelers to AluLa have been inspired by its beauty and sustained by its oasis. So this oasis city has been successively ruled by ancient North Arabian kingdoms, that is the Badanites and the Lianites, by the Nabateans and the Roman Empire. And all these civilizations, they stamped the region with a unique culture. And today, AluLa is going through very careful and sensitive restoration to make it, ready for modern day guests. So it's located 1,000 kilometers northwest of Riyadh. Its population is 45,000, and it's the size of like a small country like Belgium, about 25,000 square kilometers in size. And this is Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and it's his desire and objective to get AluLa to be a global tourism destination. This is where AluLa is located. This is Jeddah and Riyadh, which is the capital of Saudi Arabia. Jeddah is located on the Red Sea, and there's a lot of development coming up here. There's a big Red Sea project, a lot of water-based experiences. They have a lot of beautiful coral over here. And this is Medina and Mecca, where the two holy mosques reside, where people today visit for Hajj or Umrah. And when you're creating itineraries for AluLa, you can of course create mono itineraries, or you can create itineraries in combination with other key cities of Saudi Arabia, like Jeddah, for example, which has some really great architecture and hotels, resorts, etc. Or you could just combine with some of the neighboring countries. There's Egypt, there's Israel, there's Jordan, UAE, Abu Dhabi. It's just a 2-hour flight away from Dubai. So AluLa has been, for years, a real hub of activity, and for thousands of years, it's been on the incense route for caravans, which would cross over here, and people would come here and relax at the caravan. So its history at the oasis. So its history really goes back a long way. And Hegra is the first UNESCO World Heritage Site. It has over 100 beautiful tombs, which I'm going to tell you more about as we go through the presentation. So what you need to remember is that in AluLa, there are 4 significant heritage sites. One is Hegra and the Hijaz railway station. There's Dabdan, there's Jabal Ikma, and AluLa Old Town. What are the key experiences one would have when one comes to AluLa? Like, why is it that you should promote it to your customers? It has the most amazing heritage. As I mentioned, it has over 200,000 years of human history and activities which one can experience over here. It's a living museum. It's becoming big in the arts and culture space. It's got the most beautiful natural landscapes. It's got sandstone canyons, volcanic plains, mountains, valleys, this green oasis with palm trees, blue skies, golden sands. Everybody says that AluLa is a place, you have to actually see it to believe it. And it's really good where adventure activities are concerned. Today, the young people all want to do, have interesting experiences and go through some great adventure activities. And there's lots of that available here at AluLa. So first of all, we talk about the key heritage sites, and the heritage experiences are, very, very crucial to enjoy when you are over here. At the 4 heritage sites, they really tell you the tale of people who once, called this place home. There are a lot of immersive experiences at the heritage sites. They have live enactments where actors, recreate a traditional wedding, or where one can participate in rituals, apply henna. And they've also got, really interesting restaurants, handicraft workshops. You can do archaeological digs. They have great souks. And what is good is that everything at these sites is completely authentic. It's the way it's been for centuries. And so there are 4 heritage sites that all can be explored together on one pass. And there are transfers which operate regularly, which take you from one site to the other. And they are available all throughout the year. This is the first one is Hegra. So Hegra is Saudi Arabia's first UNESCO World Heritage Site. It has 111 of these, these monumental tombs. So this is very iconic of AluLa, and we would be using this image a lot to, represent AluLa, this Nabatean tomb. So this is where the Nabatean elite would be laid to rest. These tombs were built into this, these rocks, and they're very decorative facades. And till today, can see the people, the names of the people, and the inscriptions of the details of those people who are buried over here. They paid a lot of respect to the dead and a lot of rituals. And these, what you see are like the 5 steps to heaven. And the Hijaz Railway is also another key site we want to, see over here. So AluLa is really a place of, old stories and legends. And the rock art trail is really a storytelling journey, with walking. So you would go on a walk, and there'd be a Ravi or a guide who would take you through it and explain, whatever, all the inscriptions of the rocks, and talk to you about, the stories. There's so many of these petroglyphs and, points of interest, and all that would, come to life. Dan is the other heritage site. This was used to be one of the most developed cities earlier in the Arabian Peninsula. And it's very well known because it has 12 of these very famous lions' tombs just, cut into the red rock cliff. What is also special over here is that there are a lot of, archaeological digs that one can engage in. And it's really interesting for children to participate in that. The Jabal Ikma is, this is a mountain massif. It is the largest open air library in Saudi Arabia. Here you can see there are thousands of inscriptions on the rocks in different languages, including, Greek and Latin. And then you go through with a Ravi or a guide, they explain to you, about the culture, how people used to live, stories about, their animals and how they would, how the caravans would come here, and lots of interesting stories. And this is AluLa Old Town. It's the 4th, key heritage site. It comprises of 900 houses, 400 shops, and 5 town squares. And in fact, it was inhabited almost 80 years ago. Today, of course, it's been completely restored. And if you go here, you can have a wonderful time exploring, the market. You can buy spices. There are dates. There are handicraft workshops, and all these things. There are restaurants and cafes. So it's a really, really nice place to come here and, just experience as a whole well of stories, which the Ravi will, talk to one about. So a lot of these natural, and outdoor experiences over here. The Elephant Rock is, one key attraction. It's not to miss when you're at AluLa. So this is, it's a geological wonder. It's about 3 stories high. It's the shape of an elephant with the trunk resting on the ground. And the sand and the sun, it just takes on beautiful hues of color, and it keeps changing through the day. So people, you don't get tired of coming here. You can come here so many times and still have a new experience. They have a great, like a seating experience, a seating area, lots of these seating areas which you can book, and, just enjoy the natural beauty of this Elephant Rock. And they have a very nice on-site cafe, Key, which, serves some really good food and beverage as well. Not all of AluLa is desert. They have, actually, it has this really abundant oasis where there is so much, fruit and trees and spices and herbs that grow over here. And they have almost, 90,000 tons of dates which are produced from millions of date palm trees every year. You have different kinds of fruit like lemons, bananas, guavas, mangoes. You have the freshest of fruit juices one can enjoy over here. And what is also special is they have the moringa tree, which grows over here in abundance. It's very well known because you can extract the moringa oil, and this has actually been exported for centuries. It's, very fragrant, and it's used in a lot of, in a lot of lotions and candles, etc. And there are so many, wonderful farms, one can experience in AluLa. The AluLa Fresh Farm is one such where you can come over here and, learn about the plants and the fruits and the way they grow. It's a great way to interact with the locals and learn a lot about, how they live. And you can come here, pick as much fruit as you want, then you can go to the juicing center, you can have that juice, then, enjoy the fresh juice. And they'll also welcome you with a lot of, dates and Arabic coffee, and you can just sit in the cafe and have a really nice time. It's because there are lots of these citrus markets and farmers markets. One such is known as the Orange Park. It's because there is such a great fragrance of orange and citrus in the air all the time because of all the fruit that's growing. And people really come here, and you can buy a lot of fruit, or you can buy the soaps or the lotions, or have citrus infused cakes and teas and drinks and juices, and just enjoy that. And from the citrus market, buy all your fruit and have some really fresh produce. One of the other must do's at AluLa would be stargazing. So what is special about this place is that there are the most dark skies over here, and you can at any point of time see millions of stars which shine in the sky. And you could come with there would be like a Ravi or a guide who would tell you stories and point out the Milky Way or the Orion or the Big Dipper with these high-powered telescopes, and tell you about how people would use stars to predict weather, or use for navigation. And one can also do a really nice dinner under the stars. So that is something very special to end with a really good dinner while you stargaze. AluLa is also becoming very big in the adventure area, where you can go on lots of different kinds of rides. There are four-wheel drives, there's vintage aircraft flights. Cycling is very interesting. You can cycle through farms, you can cycle through the mountain landscape. You can even, cycle around Hegra and get a photograph taken against one of these monumental tombs. And of course, there are horse and camel trails, which can take about an hour or two, and you'll have a guide who will provide you with your saddle and all your equipment and water, and take you through the paths, and you can have a really good time bonding with friends and family. And of course, there are lots of walking trails, of different levels of difficulty, medium, easy, or more difficult for the more adventurous. And you can learn a lot about the place as you enjoy the scenic beauty of this place. And of course, zip lining is really, really well known over here. What's fantastic is you can get to speeds of over 100 kilometers per hour, and at the same time enjoy the incredible scenery of the AluLa mountains. Wellness is also growing in AluLa. It's got such dramatic, beautiful landscapes that it's an ideal place for wellness. And there are many experiences, but one such would be like a desert drumming experience, where everybody is given a drum, and there's a professional facilitator who will guide the way and get everybody to work together to have a very rhythmic entertainment. And this really energizes people and makes them feel very refreshed. So a lot of wellness coming up. And it's also becoming big in the arts and culture space. A lot of modern and contemporary artists, they take a lot of inspiration from the beautiful landscapes of the desert. They have a lot of exhibitions and installations. They've had many, and many now are more to come. And there's this really nice old town market also, where you can pick up a lot of handicrafts and other interesting things. So AluLa is becoming an event-based destination. You're going to hear more about that later as we go through the day. And over the last few years, they've been having this festival known as the Winter Tentora Festival, where they had Lionel Richie perform in 2019 and 2020. Last year, they had Enrique had performed. So they get the best of global international performers from all over the world to come here and perform. And as recently as in April this year, we had Bocelli with his daughter who performed. He sang his famous Hallelujah, and that was like a real hit. And so there's lots of interesting events also going to be coming up in AluLa, including that of motorsport racing, and they had the Extreme E race also here recently. There's really good accommodation and conference venues here. Leading up in the 5-star category, there is the Banyan Tree. It has 79 villa style accommodation, Mediterranean and Indian, Middle Eastern restaurants as well. And you have the Habitas AluLa, which is like a 5-star eco-friendly resort with 100 luxury rooms opening up just next month, actually. And in the 4-star category, there's Shadin, there's Sahari. So as you can see, that all these hotels, they're built in such a beautiful way that they merge in seamlessly with the landscape, and they're highly sustainable. And makes it really very special. And a lot of new resorts also that are going to be coming up. There's Aman, there's Four Seasons. And for those who love nature and outdoor, they have these really nice RVs. So you can be driving through the day in your RV and come back and relax at the resort in the evening, and we serve breakfast in the morning. That's another great way to experience a destination. Maraya, the word Maraya actually means a mirror. This building is known as Maraya. It's a very big, beautiful, conference and exhibition center. We can have weddings. Uh, it's now entered the Guinness Book of World Records because it is the largest mirrored building in the whole world. It has 9,740 square meters of mirrors. So it's entered the Guinness Book of World Records. Uh, this is what it looks like. It reflects the landscapes, and it reflects all the time because it's made of a material which doesn't attract sand or dust, and it's got state-of-the-art equipment and facilities. There's some lovely restaurants all over AluLa. They serve European continental cuisine and very suitable to the Indian palate as well. And there is a Michelin star restaurant which will be opening up at Maraya shortly. So there's a lot of excitement about that. How does one get to AluLa? So there are weekly flights. There are a lot of flights from Jeddah, Riyadh, and the Dammam into AluLa, twice a week from Jeddah, and 4 times a week from Riyadh. And to get into Saudi Arabia, you have Saudi Airlines, there's Air India, and pre-COVID, there were other airlines like SpiceJet and Indigo also, if you fly into Jeddah and Riyadh, and then it's just a short flight away. It's just a 1 hour, 15-minute flight from Jeddah into AluLa. And from AluLa, all the hotels are, within about 30 minutes. So I think it's very, very conveniently located. One can also get there by car. So if there is somebody going in for Umrah and they are at Medina, then it's a 3.5-hour drive to AluLa from Medina. That's the other way of getting in there. And all the car rentals are available. Taxi services are also very convenient. And what is really good is that for those Indians who are flying on Saudi Airlines, and if you have a valid UK, US, or Schengen visa, it is visa on arrival. For the others, you'll have to contact your local nearest consulate or embassy. And there is a lot of progress also being made on an e-visa. So we shall hear about that also. And these are the two DMCs that we would recommend that we can work with. There's Go Zahid and Albarak, who you can work with. And we want you to feel very confident in promoting AluLa. AluLa is committed to providing the highest standards of visitor experience across the destination through all visitor services from pre-arrival to post-departure. You should be very, very confident in promoting this destination, and happy to take any questions later after we have had some of the other presentations. So thank you for now. And we really look forward to your promoting destination and to visiting. Thank you.